my favorite pastime is burnishing leather. So you got your piece of leather, a lovely piece of leather like that, and you now want to burnish it. So what you do is you start off by beveling the edge. Now the thinner the leather, the lower the number. I'm just going to use a number 1 for now. Okay, so there you've started rounding the edge nicely. I don't use, if it's veg tanned leather, certainly. I don't use anything more than water and my wood slicker. Put a little bit of water on, not a lot at all. Find your size on your slicker and start going backwards and forwards. Go to one size bigger so you're catching the top as well. Between the two. And even if you do mushroom a little bit, it's not the end of the world. All you do is take a rolling pin or roller, you run over it, and whatever mushrooming there is will be put flat, and lo and behold, you end up getting yourself a nice, smooth, shiny piece. At that point, you can take some 313 leather dressing, put it on top, and let that dry, and you can start using from 500 grit up sandpaper. You can go as high as 2000. Just sanding down the high spots and then another layer 313 to fill in the low spots until you get what looks like a piece of glass. Now, this works fantastic with veg tanned leather. If you guys have ever worked with chrome tanned leather, which you will get the chance to do at some point, you'll see you can't burnish it. Let me just find a piece of chrome tanned here. Okay, that's chrome tanned leather. You can try as much as you like to burnish it, it's not happening. You're going to blunt your tools. So what we do, we do it exactly the same. Run a bevel on the edge and a bevel on the edge. Start rounding it. What I do is I take moss back, and it's basically 313, just a lot thicker, and we run that on the top, and we only work in the direction of the grain of the leather, so that we're laying the fibers down. So that would be your first layer. You'd let that dry, and then you start sandpapering. You can go ahead and, run your edge beveler, which also helps a lot, but just remember to clean it immediately afterwards, otherwise you're not getting that latex off later. You've got to sand it off. So let that dry. Meanwhile, I'll show you exactly what you do after that. You just find my first piece that I was. Yeah, is you just take a bit of sandpaper.
Yeah.
And gently with the grain of the leather, so you're helping to lay it down. And then some 313.
Quick question.
Yes.
How do you determine the grain of the leather, the flow of the
Oh,
leather, in which direction?
thank you for
Sandpaper.
thank you for asking me that. If you take leather and you take your nail and you run it along the leather, you'll see that either the fibers are going to be lifted up, or if you run it the other direction, the fibers will lay down. So you've got to lay them down or lift them up. You see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's the laying down that you want to do. That's a better edge, because the grain actually on this piece of leather is running along here. So there's fibers are running in this direction along here. There I'm picking it up, there I'm laying it down. See that? Okay, so just take your leather, run a finger across it, and you'll see, does the suede on the back come up, or does it lie flat? And obviously you go the direction that you're making it lie flat with. Okay. And now.
Another question.
Yes. I'm listening.
You said this little piece of leather, you said it's chromium.
Chrome tanned. You get basically
Chrome tanned.
Yeah, there's two kinds of leathers that we get. Veg tanned leather, which is a lot easier to work with, or chrome tanned. Majority of leather out there today is actually chrome tanned leather, and it's quite difficult to work with in that it blunts your blades quickly. It is very, very, very strong, so it can be quite hard to work with, and it doesn't like water at all. So you can't burnish, you can't model with it. It's quite limited. Makes fantastic belts, makes great leather for handbags, because generally chrome tanned leather is a lot softer than veg tanned, but veg tanned leather is far more versatile. You can model on it, you can press into it, you can stamp into it, you can wet it and mold it, and you get some beautiful finishes with it as well. So it's just a matter of you know, what you're working with and what you need. All leather has its place. I prefer veg tanned leather because the agents that they use to tan with are good for the environment. But that's just my own personal preference. Are there any other questions?
Yeah, what would you use for shoes?
For shoes?
Men's shoes, especially. Who's speaking there? Theater.
Sorry, just hang on a second. They're turning a machine off. Okay. Generally, shoe uppers are made from chrome tanned leather, but that doesn't mean you can't use veg tanned leather. Okay. Veg tanned leather finishes a lot nicer. You can get a higher shine, and it also depends on the shoe that you're making. You know, a set of brogues, you know, those fancy, really high shine shoes, they like a bit of veg tanned leather. Simple school shoes, that's chrome tanned leather.
Okay.
Anything else? Anybody else want to know? Any other questions? I have no.
I just want to know what skiving knives do you have there?
Okay, you want to see some skiving?
No, the knives. I need a knife. I need to buy a knife. That's all.
Okay, we got.
Yes,
I'm not going anywhere.
What is that product that you put on now? Not the 313, the other one?
Oh, mossback. The mossback is what I use on the chrome tanned leather. You can use mossback on veg tan, but it's not necessary. Mossback is pretty much the same thing as 313 leather dressing, except it's a lot thicker in order to fill in the low spots easier. You can see, sorry, I've got to just click on myself. Janine, how do you bring me back up?
Can Dieter just mute his...
Sorry, I'm coming. You can see
Just
how
mute his system.
with the moss back, how I've got a smooth finish starting to happen. It's just going to take a lot of work with a bit of sanding to get it right. Whereas that veg tan piece of leather, that's done. That's smooth. That's really, that's why I prefer veg tan, and because it's good for the environment. Right.